Hey guys, welcome back to another Battlefield video. In this video, I'll be ranking all Battlefield 5 maps from worst to best. Battlefield 5's maps are definitely one of its weakest qualities, yet some of them can still be really fun at times. A lot of them are just too wide open, have bad flows for attacking and defending objectives, and most of them tend to be way too vehicle focused, which just takes away from the fun of the infantry gameplay. I'm also taking into consideration both Conquest and Breakthrough versions of the map, and trying to kind of even them out. I would also really appreciate comments on what Battlefield 2042 videos you want me to make. I'm really excited for it, and I think I can make a lot of enjoyable videos on it. Remember, if you do enjoy this video, then to subscribe so you don't miss any more of these. Most of my viewers aren't subscribed, so it would be great to get more of you guys to join the channel. But now, getting into the video. In last place, we have Hamada. Hamada is a great example of everything not to do in designing a map. It's wide open, and you can only use long-range guns to even have a chance at doing good. There's very little other gameplay. It would be fine being open and massive if the map still found a way to push together people around objectives, but it doesn't do that at all. This is a map where vehicles can also just run around super easily. Tanks can snipe people, and planes can infinitely bomb players who don't have any cover. Next, in 18th, is Panzerstorm. Panzerstorm is very similar to Hamada. It pretty much is bad for every single reason, except for the fact that there are more places with cover, yet objectives are far apart and hard to attack without being sniped. The absolute worst part is that this map is pretty much just a tank match, especially in Breakthrough. So if you're not in a tank, don't even think about doing good or having any fun. It's where I play a full Panzerstorm match due to the fact that I always get bored or frustrated really quickly. Number 17, we have Sedan. Once again, exactly the same as the first two maps. It's rare that you actually find someone to kill before they snipe you. For 2042, if there's still any maps like this in a futuristic setting, then I'm gonna be really upset. In 16th, we have Fiel 652. Fiel is where things start to get better, but not much better. At least it's not wide open. The objectives are better, but the in-between of objectives is the worst. Conquest is where it really gets bad. All the objectives are way too spread out, and in between the objectives are constant choke points, allowing teams to easily control the entire map. All of this is happening where there are planes constantly strafing you. This map could be way more interesting if the mountains were incorporated in some way. In Breakthrough, the flow of this map isn't too bad, but the whole game is too short and there is still the same problem in between objectives. At 15, we have Wake Island. While I haven't played the past Wake Island maps, I know it is a classic, but with the new version it just isn't that good. My main problems are that each of the objectives are just not set up very well. The flow doesn't work very well. This map is a bit more subjective, but I rarely have fun while I'm playing it. 14, we have Aerodrome. This map goes back to being a bit too open, but it's nice how it revolves around one main hangar. The objectives work well and there's lots of good gameplay, but I'm still not a fan of how bare a lot of it is. At 13, we have Narvik. From now on, I think the rankings are a bit more subjective, whereas the first few maps were more objectively bad. But Narvik is a very okay map. The bridge can be fun, but it's not the best. The open first part of the map is also okay, and has some good gameplay, but then I'm not a big fan of the village. Everything is way too destructible and makes dodging in and out of destroyed buildings not very fun. Once again, it's okay, just doesn't have a lot of fun parts and doesn't have a lot of bad parts. At 12, we have Iwo Jima. This map is quite the opposite from Narvik, where there are lots of fun parts, yet lots of bad parts. First off, this map doesn't work in Conquest, like at all. The objectives are way too spread out, but for Breakthrough, the map can be pretty fun. There's lots of flanks and spots to use close-range guns. But my main problem is sometimes you easily roll through the objectives, and sometimes you get instantly destroyed. It tends to happen way more than every other map. I know a lot of people really like Iwo Jima, but for me, there's just lots of spots where it can be really hard to do good. At 11, we have Pacific Storm. Pacific Storm is once again very similar to Iwo Jima, and I dislike it and like it for all the same reasons. It can be too spread out, but there's lots of places to flank and have close quarters fights. But then again, there are lots of spots where it's hard to do good and the teams can be unbalanced. Sometimes when attacking you get instantly destroyed whenever you try to get onto the beaches, and sometimes the enemies never get together and you can walk into each objective with little fight. At 10 is Twisted Steel. This is going back to another very okay map, except for the bridge. The actual bridge part is awesome and super fun to play. This map would be way better if it found a way to incorporate other parts of the map into the bridge. 9 is Mercury. Now we're getting into all the maps that I think are really good and are almost always fun. Mercury is a beautiful map with fun and unique objectives along with a wide variety of them. The flow of the objectives are good as it's easy to go to each one and there are plenty of ways to flank. At 8 is Marita. Marita is another beautiful map and every part of the map is really good and fun. Going between objectives is quick and easy and there are plenty of enemies to be killed. This is how all maps should strive to be. Lots of good ways to get between objectives quickly and a wide variety of them. At 7 is Solomon Islands. Solomon Islands is a really good map and I love the jungle fighting. It's really good on every single mode too, which is a big plus. All I really have are good things to say about this map. The flow isn't perfect, attacking and defending the objectives aren't perfect, but it's still a good map. At 6 is Aomar's encampment. This is a really cool and unique map. I love fighting in a close quarters encampment and it all looks cool. But how the map actually plays is very similar to Marita. The entire map flows very well. It works great in any mode and you can always have fun. But that's how pretty much every single map on the rest of this list goes. And it's something the bottom half of this list is severely lacking and exactly what I'm looking for in maps in 2042. Number 5 is Province. This map plays quite differently from Conquest and Breakthrough. In Conquest, it's a cool village, which is always fun to play and has some nice verticality. In Breakthrough, you get to make your way through farms and finally take the village. I always love when the way you attack actually makes sense in a realistic way, but of course every part of this map is fun. At 4 is Eris. Eris is similar to Province where you fight through farms and villages. It just looks a little bit different. Overall, I gotta say I like this map just a little bit more than Province and it's a map done very well. Number 3 is Rotterdam. I really love urban settings. They usually have the best close-up gameplay and verticality. Pretty much every urban map in video games lets you play this game any way you want and is really cool. Luckily, in Battlefield 5's only fully urban map, they nail it down for the most part. There are still things that could be improved on, like the rivers that separate the map and the train tracks on the top, but overall it's a very well done map. And number 2 is Operation Underground. This is a map that some people love and others hate, and I have a lot of problems with this map, but what it all comes down to is how much I love fighting under the train tracks. It requires you to be incredibly aware of what's going on and you need to constantly have perfect gunfire skills. I absolutely love this type of combat and it never gets old. There's not a single map that I have more fun playing on. Now, what I think is the best map in Battlefield 5 is Devastation. You can see here I really like urban maps since my top 3 maps are all in the same sort of urban setting. But Devastation gets absolutely everything right. First off, it looks absolutely awesome and unique, but I just love fighting in the bomb city. You get to be in these awesome objectives, destroy theaters, bombed out cathedrals, collapsed train tracks. All this is done to perfection. Then the gameplay is awesome. It has good short, mid, and long range, and you can dominate with anything. The overall flow is awesome. You can easily get to each objective with plenty of room to flank. There are a good bit of good Battlefield 5 maps, but this one is truly great. But that is all for this video. That's each map in Battlefield 5 ranked. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Be on the lookout for some live streams soon too, plus a lot more Battlefield videos including 2042. But I'll see you guys next time. Bye.